My name is Anna. I'm 28 years old, and I'd spend the last 6 Christmases the exact same way, elbow deep in sippy cups, wiping down sticky counters, and watching other people's kids while everyone else enjoyed themselves. This year was supposed to be different. Instead, I'm standing in my mother's living room on Christmas Eve, watching her face go completely white as she stares at her phone. Her hand is shaking. Behind her, 4 children are having simultaneous meltdowns. One's crying about a broken candy cane, another's screaming because someone touched his toy truck, the twins are fighting over who gets to sit on the good chair, and there's apple juice spreading across the cream-colored carpet like a crime scene. Mom doesn't notice any of it. She's frozen, staring at the photo I just texted her. My packed suitcase sitting by my apartment door. My boarding pass with today's date clearly visible. And the caption that's currently making her world tilt sideways. "What?" she whispers. "No. This can't be happening." But it is happening. And honestly, it's been a long time coming. See, my family has this unspoken rule about Christmas. Actually, it's not even unspoken anymore. They just say it out loud now like it's normal. The rule is simple. Anna cancels whatever she has going on and becomes the designated babysitter so everyone else can have a real holiday. No payment. No real appreciation. Just a breezy, "You're such a natural with kids, and we literally couldn't manage without you." For years, I believed that. I thought being needed meant being valued. I thought saying yes made me a good daughter, a good sister, a good niece. This Christmas, I finally understood the difference between being valued and being used. And everything, absolutely everything, fell apart. But let's back up. Because this moment, this frozen look of panic on my mother's face, didn't start on Christmas Eve. It started 2 weeks earlier, with a phone call that landed like a punch to the gut. It was a Tuesday night, late. I was just finishing my shift at the medical supply company where I work as a logistics coordinator. December is always brutal. Everyone wants their orders before the holidays, so I'd been pulling 10-hour days, sometimes longer. But I didn't mind. I'd been saving money, putting aside every extra dollar I could spare. Because this year, I had plans. Real plans. My plans. The kind I'd been dreaming about since last January but barely let myself talk about out loud. Like if I said it too many times, the universe might snatch it away. My phone buzzed just as I was locking up the office. Mom's name lit up the screen. I should have known better than to answer. "Anna." "Perfect timing," she said, her voice bright and efficient. That tone that meant she'd already made decisions and was now informing me of them. I figured out the whole Christmas situation. My stomach dropped. When Mom says she's figured out something involving Christmas, what she really means is she's figured out what I'll be doing. "Your brother and your cousin are both bringing their kids this year," she continued, steamrolling right through any chance I had to speak. "So that's 4 kids total, ages 2, 4, 6, and 7. And honestly, sweetie, Trevor and Natalie have been so stressed this year. Trevor's been working crazy hours at the dealership, and Natalie's still dealing with that whole preschool drama with the twins. They really need a break." There it was. The setup. The pitch. The trap I'd walked into 100 times before. "So we were thinking," she said, and I hate that we because it meant she'd already talked to everyone else, already made the plan, already told them I'd agree. "You could stay at the house for a few days and watch the kids while everyone else actually gets to enjoy Christmas. It'll be fun. You're so good with them, and since you don't have kids of your own yet, it shouldn't be too hard for you to manage." 4 kids. 1 still in diapers. 1 who refused to nap and turned into a tiny dictator by 4 p.m. And 6-year-old twins who treated furniture like a jungle gym and had the combined energy of a small tornado. For 3 days. Unpaid. While everyone else opened presents, drank wine, watched movies, and had the holiday I was apparently too single and childless to deserve. "Mom," I said carefully, trying to keep my voice steady, "I already told you back in October that I made plans for Christmas this year." She laughed. Actually laughed, like I just told her the most adorable joke. "Oh, Anna. Come on. You can reschedule whatever that is. This is family. Family comes first." What she meant was, your life comes second. I closed my eyes, standing in the empty parking lot, my breath fogging in the cold December air. "My trip is already booked," I said. "The flights are non-refundable. I took the time off work 3 months ago. A trip. She sounded genuinely confused, like the concept of me going somewhere without permission was foreign. Where are you even going? A cabin in Vermont. It's a wellness retreat, yoga, hiking, quiet time. I've been planning this for almost a year. Silence. Then, Anna, that's ridiculous. You can do that literally any other time. These kids only have one Christmas. I've given up the last 6 Christmases, Mom. Because you're good at it. And because you don't have the responsibilities everyone else has. She sighed, that specific sigh that meant I was being difficult and she was being patient. Look, everyone else has real responsibilities. Mortgages. Kids. Careers that actually matter. You can afford to be flexible. That sentence hit me like ice water. Real responsibilities. As if my job didn't matter because I worked in a warehouse instead of an office. As if my time didn't count because I wasn't married. As if my plans were somehow less legitimate because they didn't involve children. I'm not canceling my trip, I said, and my voice came out harder than I intended. Anna. Now her voice had an edge. Don't be selfish. The kids adore you. Don't you want to be there for them? Don't you want to be part of this family? And there it was. The kill shot. The guilt wrapped in love. The obligation disguised as belonging. For years, that line had worked. It had made me fold, made me cancel, made me show up with a smile and pretend I didn't feel like a piece of furniture they only noticed when they needed it. I need to think about it, I said. There's nothing to think about, she replied firmly. You'll do the right thing. You always do. Then she hung up. I stood there in the parking lot for a long time, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to dead air. When I finally got home to my small 1-bedroom apartment in Riverside, I didn't do what I usually did. I didn't talk myself into being reasonable. I didn't make lists of pros and cons. I didn't try to figure out how to make everyone happy. Instead, I called my best friend Lila. She picked up on the second ring. Please tell me you're calling to confirm brunch this weekend and not to tell me you're canceling your trip. I laughed, but it came out shaky. How did you know? Because I've known you for 12 years, and every December you do this same dance. Her voice softened. What did your mom say? I told her everything. The 4 kids. The assumption. The real responsibilities comment. The guilt trip about family. Lila was quiet for a moment. Then, Anna, they don't ask because you always say yes. Your mom doesn't plan around you, she plans on you. And until you stop showing up, nothing's going to change. But what if? What if they're mad? They'll be mad. What if they struggle? They'll struggle. What if Christmas is hard for them? She paused. Anna, Christmas has been hard for you for 6 years, and nobody cared. That truth sat heavy in my chest. You deserve to put yourself first, Lila said gently. Just once, you deserve to be the main character in your own life. After we hung up, I sat on my couch, staring at my half-packed suitcase in the corner. The cabin reservation was saved on my laptop. Check-in, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Check-out, December 27th at noon. Exactly the dates my mother expected me to be planted on her couch in Maple Ridge, surrounded by toy trucks and goldfish crackers and other people's children. I could cancel. Get maybe half my money back. Show up like I always did. Keep the peace. Or, I clicked confirm on my booking. My phone buzzed almost immediately. Another text from Mom. Have you thought about the Christmas thing? Everyone's counting on you. Let me know ASAP so I can finalize everything. I stared at the message. Then I typed, still thinking. She responded in seconds. Anna, I already told Trevor and Natalie you do it. Don't make me look bad. And there it was. She'd already promised. Already committed me without my consent. Already built Christmas on the assumption that I had no spine. I didn't respond. The next morning, the family group chat, Morrison Christmas Crew, lit up with activity. The group chat was doing what it always did in December, exploding with holiday chaos. 37 messages before I even finished my coffee. Mom, only 12 days until Christmas. So excited to see everyone. My brother Trevor. The twins are already asking about presents. I'll send help. Natalie, Trevor's wife. They've been screaming about Santa for 3 weeks straight. My cousin Blake. Bringing little Cody this year. Fair warning, he's in his dinosaur phase and will roar at you. Then, buried in the middle of all the festive emojis and exclamation points, my mother sent the message that made my blood run cold. Anna's going to watch all the kids during Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so the rest of us can actually relax and enjoy the holiday. We are so lucky to have her. Not, I asked Anna and she said yes. Not, Anna agreed to help out. Just, Anna's watching them. Done deal. Decided. I stared at my phone, reading that message over and over. She hadn't even asked. She just announced it. Announced me. Like I was a service being provided, not a person with my own life. The responses came flooding in. Trevor, Anna, you're the best. We're gonna owe you so big. Natalie, literally can't thank you enough. The twins have been so much lately. Blake, you're a lifesaver. Cody's been a handful since the terrible twos hit. My Aunt Maureen, so sweet of you to give up your holiday for everyone. You're such a good girl. Good girl. Like I was 12. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I could correct her right now. Tell everyone the truth, that I never agreed, that I had other plans, that this was all a lie. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the tiny, vindictive part of me that wanted to see what would happen if I just didn't show up. If I let them build their entire Christmas on a foundation that didn't exist. Or maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe I was just tired. Tired of explaining. Tired of defending my right to my own time. Tired of being treated like my only value was what I could do for other people. I didn't type anything. I just closed the chat. An hour later, Mom called. Did you see my message? She asked cheerfully. I saw it, I said. Great. So you're all set then. We'll need you at the house by noon on Christmas Eve. That way Trevor and Natalie can. Mom, I interrupted. I didn't say yes. Pause. What do you mean? I mean I never agreed to babysit. You announced it without asking me. Anna. Her voice shifted, taking on that patient but annoyed tone. We talked about this. You know everyone needs your help. We talked about you wanting me to cancel my plans, I said. I never said I would. Well, you didn't say no, she countered. And I figured you'd come around. You always do. There it was. The truth she probably didn't even realize she'd just spoken out loud. You always do. Translation, you always cave. You always fold. You always sacrifice yourself because we expect it and you're too afraid to disappoint us. I need to go, I said. I'm at work. Anna, don't do this. Everyone's already planning around. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I'd never hung up on my mother before. In 28 years, through every argument and disagreement, I'd never just ended the call. It felt terrifying. It also felt amazing. The week crawled by. Every day, the group chat got more chaotic. More planning. More excitement. More messages about travel times and grocery lists, and who was bringing what dish. And every day, I said nothing. Mom texted me privately twice more. First, we need to talk about your attitude. This isn't like you. Then, 3 days later, I'm assuming you'll be there. Don't embarrass me by flaking. I didn't respond to either message. Instead, I did something I'd never done before. I told my co-workers about my trip. Vermont, my supervisor Keisha said, grinning. That sounds incredible. You're gonna have the best time. If my family doesn't kill me first, I muttered. She raised an eyebrow. They giving you grief about going? They don't actually know I'm still going, I admitted. They think I'm babysitting. Keisha's expression shifted. Oh, honey, when are you planning to tell them? I'm not, I said. And saying it out loud made it real. Made it a decision instead of a daydream. They'll find out when I don't show up. She studied me for a long moment. Then she smiled. Good for you. Christmas Eve arrived cold and bright, One of those crisp December mornings where everything looks like a postcard and the air tastes like possibility. I woke up at 5 a.m., which was ridiculous because my flight wasn't until 2 p.m., but my heart was racing too fast to sleep. For a few disorienting seconds, I forgot why I was so anxious. Then it hit me. Today was the day. Today, I was either going to cave like I always did, or I was finally going to choose myself. I made coffee. Strong, black, the way I liked it, but never made it when I was at Mom's house because she always said it was too bitter and would water it down. I sat at my tiny kitchen table and watched the sunrise paint my apartment walls gold. My suitcase was already packed. Had been for 3 days. Every time I walked past it, I felt this weird mix of pride and terror. The group chat had been eerily quiet since yesterday afternoon. Everyone was probably too busy with last-minute preparations to text. But I knew what was happening. I could picture it perfectly. Mom would be up already, organizing everything with military precision. Trevor and Natalie would be loading up their expedition with enough kid supplies to stock a daycare. Blake would be running late like he always did, probably still throwing things in a bag. And they were all expecting me to walk through Mom's front door by noon, ready to wrangle their children so they could have their perfect Christmas. At 8 a.m., my phone buzzed. Mom, what time are you getting here? Need to know when to put the brunch casserole in. My finger hovered over the keyboard. This was it. Last chance to tell her the truth before this turned into a full-scale disaster. I could still cancel everything. Lose the money, lose the trip, keep the peace. Instead, I opened my laptop and checked in for my flight. At 10 a.m., I showered and got dressed. Comfortable clothes for travel, my favorite jeans, a soft sweater, my broken-in boots. Not the good with kids outfit Mom would expect. The washable shirt, the pants with pockets for snacks, the shoes I didn't mind getting stepped on. At 11 a.m., I called my Uber. The group chat exploded with activity while I was loading my suitcase into the trunk. Mom, Trevor and Nat just got here. The twins are so excited. Blake, 20 minutes out. Cody fell asleep in the car, thank God. Aunt Maureen, bringing my famous cranberry bread. Can't wait to see everyone. Trevor, where's Anna? Thought she'd be here by now. My heart hammered against my ribs. The driver pulled away from my building, heading toward the airport. Mom, she's probably just running late. You know Anna, always trying to do too much. That message made something hot and angry flare in my chest. Even now, when I was literally abandoning ship, she was making excuses for me. Painting me as the reliable one who'd show up eventually. Because that's what I always did. The driver merged onto the highway. No turning back now. Mom, private message. Anna? Where are you? Everyone's here. I stared at that message for a solid 2 minutes. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. I could still fix this. Send some excuse. Say I was sick. Buy myself time to figure out. No. No more excuses. No more protecting everyone else's feelings while mine got trampled. I typed out a message. Clear. Simple. Undeniable. I need to be honest with you. I never agreed to babysit this Christmas. I told you weeks ago that I had other plans. You chose not to listen. I'm currently on my way to the airport. I'll be out of town until December 27th. I'm sorry you made plans based on an assumption, but that's not my responsibility. I attached a photo. My boarding pass. My suitcase in the trunk. The timestamp showing today, December 24th, 11:47 a.m. Then I hit send. And before I could chicken out, I sent the same message, same photo, to the main group chat. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. Then my phone started losing its mind. My phone vibrated so violently it nearly jumped out of my hand. Message after message flooded in, the notifications stacking so fast I couldn't even read them all. The group chat was exploding. My private messages were blowing up. Even my Instagram was getting flooded. Mom tried calling. I declined it. Trevor tried calling. Declined. Natalie. Declined. Blake. Aunt Maureen. Even my cousin's wife, who I barely knew. Declined. 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 I turned my phone face down on my lap and stared out the window as the city gave way to highway, then to the sprawling complex of the airport terminal. Big family drama? My driver asked sympathetically, glancing at me in the rearview mirror. Something like that, I said weakly. Good for you, he said. Nobody ever regrets choosing themselves. They only regret waiting so long to do it. When he dropped me off at departures, I gave him a massive tip. Inside the terminal, I finally flipped my phone over. 73 notifications. 73. In less than 20 minutes. I opened the group chat first. Bad idea. Trevor. Anna, what the hell? Natalie. Are you serious right now? Blake. This is so messed up. We all planned around you being here. Aunt Maureen. I'm very disappointed in you, Anna. This is extremely selfish behavior. Mom hadn't typed anything yet in the group chat, but my private messages from her were something else. Anna Catherine Morrison, you call me right now. This is not funny. If this is some kind of joke, it's not cute. How could you do this to your family? Everyone is asking me what's going on, and I look like an idiot. You're being incredibly selfish and immature. I'm so disappointed in you. Call me. Now. That last one came with 4 missed call notifications stacked on top of each other. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, from adrenaline. From the sheer disbelief that I'd actually done it. That I'd actually stood up for myself instead of caving. I was about to close my messages when a new one popped up. From Lila. I don't know what you just did, but your mom's sister just posted a very dramatic Facebook status about young people these days and family values, so I'm assuming you went through with it? Call me when you can. Proud of you. Despite everything, I smiled. Another message. This one from my co-worker Keisha. Girl, if you're at that airport right now, I'm gonna be so proud of you. Don't you dare get back in that Uber. The messages kept coming, but not all of them were angry. My college roommate sent me a champagne emoji. My gym friend sent a gif of someone dropping a microphone. Even my old manager from my first job, someone I hadn't talked to in 5 years, somehow heard about it through the family grapevine and sent, finally. Been waiting for this since you were 22. I made it through security in a daze. Found my gate. Sat down in one of those uncomfortable airport chairs and just breathed. My phone buzzed again. Mom, calling for probably the 15th time. This time, I answered. I don't know why. Maybe I just needed to hear it. Needed to hear exactly what she'd say now that there was no taking it back. Where are you? She didn't say hello. Her voice was ice. I told you. I'm at the airport. Anna, if you get on that plane, I will never forgive you. Silence. I waited for the guilt to hit. For the panic. For the overwhelming need to fix this that had ruled my life for 28 years. It didn't come. Mom, I said quietly, I told you 3 weeks ago I had plans. I reminded you twice. You chose to ignore me and announced to everyone that I'd be babysitting without ever asking if I agreed. You should have said no then. I did say no. You didn't listen. You never listen. In the background, I heard chaos. Kids crying. Someone shouting. Something. Crashing. Do you hear this? Mom's voice cracked. This is what you're doing to us. Trevor and Natalie are furious. The twins are completely out of control. Blake's trying to handle Cody, but he won't stop crying. Christmas is ruined because of your selfishness. No, I said, and my voice was steadier than I expected. Christmas is hard because you built a plan on a lie. You told everyone I'd agreed when I hadn't. You made promises using my time without my permission. This isn't happening because I left. It's happening because you refused to listen. How can you? Her voice broke. How can you do this to your own mother? To your family? How could you do this to me for 6 years? I asked. How could you treat my time like it didn't matter? My plans like they were disposable? My life like it only existed to make yours easier? Silence. Heavy, choking silence. Then, quiet enough that I almost didn't hear it. I thought you didn't mind. You didn't ask if I minded, I said. You just assumed. And I let you because I thought that's what love looked like. But it's not love, Mom. It's just convenient for everyone else. This can't be happening, she whispered, and her voice sounded small. Lost. What am I supposed to do now? Figure it out, I said softly. The way I've had to figure things out every time you cancelled on me or dismissed my plans or volunteered me for something without asking. You'll figure it out. Anna. I have to board now. Merry Christmas, Mom. I hung up. My hands were steady. My heart was racing, but it wasn't from panic. It was from something else. Something that felt almost like freedom. They called my boarding group. I stood up, grabbed my carry-on, and got in line. As I handed over my boarding pass, my phone buzzed one more time. I glanced at the screen. The group chat again. But this time, the message wasn't from my family. It was from my cousin's husband, Joel. Quiet Joel, who usually never said anything in the family drama. For what it's worth, Anna, I think you did the right thing. Nobody should have volunteered you without asking. That's messed up. Then another message. My Aunt Maureen, of all people. I'm disappointed in how this happened, but your mother should have confirmed with you first. This is partially on her. Then Blake. Okay, I'm still mad, but also, you literally told us in October you had plans and we all just ignored that. That's kind of on us too. I stared at my phone, barely breathing, as the messages continued. Trevor, we need to talk about this when you get back. But yeah, Mom shouldn't have promised you without asking. The validation felt surreal. Like watching reality slowly shift and resettle into a shape that made sense. But then Mom posted again. I'm trying to hold this family together while my own daughter abandons us on Christmas. But apparently I'm the bad guy here. Noted. The passive-aggressive martyr routine. Classic. I turned my phone to airplane mode and boarded the plane. 3 hours later, I was in Vermont. The cabin was exactly what the photos promised. Small, cozy, tucked into the woods with snow-covered pines pressing close on all sides. Inside was a fireplace, overstuffed couch with blankets, a kitchen stocked with basics, and silence. Blessed, beautiful silence. No kids screaming. No passive-aggressive comments. No guilt trips disguised as gratitude. Just me, a bottle of wine from the welcome basket, and the most peace I'd felt in years. I turned my phone back on long enough to text Lila. I did it. I'm here. I can't believe I actually did it. Her response was immediate. I'm so proud of you, I could see our why. Now turn that phone off and enjoy yourself. For the next 3 days, that's exactly what I did. I hiked through snowy trails. Did yoga in front of the fireplace. Read 3 books I'd been meaning to get to. Cooked simple meals exactly the way I wanted them. Slept in without small hands poking my face at 6 a.m. I didn't check the family group chat. I didn't read Mom's texts. I existed in a bubble where I was the only person who mattered, and it felt revolutionary. On Christmas morning, I made French toast, drank mimosas on the porch watching chickadees, and felt something I hadn't felt in years, actual joy. No resentment. No exhaustion. No simmering anger at being taken for granted. Just joy. I almost didn't turn my phone back on when I got home on the 27th. But curiosity won out. 214 messages. Most of them from the group chat, which had apparently devolved into full family warfare while I was gone. I scrolled through, piecing together what happened. Christmas Eve was a disaster. Trevor and Natalie tried to handle the twins themselves, but gave up after an hour and dumped them on Mom. Blake's son Cody had a meltdown that lasted 3 hours. Nobody could agree on who should watch the kids, which turned into a fight about who'd been planning on me watching them. Trevor, Mom, you told us Anna said yes. Mom, I assumed she would. She always does. Natalie, that's not the same as her actually agreeing. By Christmas morning, according to Blake's play-by-play messages, Trevor and Natalie had a huge fight with Mom about boundary issues and not speaking for other people. Blake admitted he felt guilty for just assuming I'd give up my holiday without asking what I wanted. Aunt Maureen apparently mediated and pointed out that they'd all been taking advantage of me for years, and maybe this was a wake-up call. Mom stopped posting after that. There were also private messages. Dozens of them. Some apologetic. Some still angry. Most confused. But the one that mattered came on December 26th. From Mom. Can we talk when you get back? In person? I need to apologize properly. I waited 2 days before responding. Not to be petty, I just needed time to figure out what I actually wanted to say. Finally, on December 29th, I texted back. I'm willing to talk. But I need you to understand this isn't going back to how things were. If you can't accept that, there's no point meeting. She responded within minutes. I understand. Can you come to dinner tomorrow? Just us. The next evening, I drove to Mom's house in Maple Ridge. My stomach was in knots the entire way. Part of me expected to walk into an ambush, the whole family waiting to gang up on me for ruining Christmas. But when I arrived, it was just Mom. She looked tired. Older, somehow, than she had 3 weeks ago. Her eyes were red-rimmed like she'd been crying recently. Come in, she said quietly. I made lasagna. My favorite. She'd made my favorite. We sat at the kitchen table, the same table where I'd eaten 1,000 family dinners, where I'd done homework as a kid, where I'd listened to countless conversations that talked around me but never to me. Mom didn't eat. She just twisted her napkin in her hands. I'm sorry, she said finally. Really, genuinely sorry. Not sorry that Christmas was hard. Sorry for how I treated you. I stayed quiet, waiting. Your Aunt Maureen said something on Christmas that I can't stop thinking about, she continued. She asked why I always assumed you'd drop everything for us. And I didn't have a good answer. I just did. I took you for granted because you were always there. Reliable Anna. Helpful Anna. Anna who never complains. She looked up, eyes shining. But that's not an excuse. I volunteered your time without asking. I dismissed your plans like they didn't matter. I made you feel like your life only had value when you were serving everyone else. Her voice cracked. That's not love. That's just selfish. The apology settled between us, fragile and real. I need things to change, I said. Really change. Not just going back to normal in a few months. I know, she said quickly. Tell me what you need. So I did. First, you never volunteer me for anything without asking me first. Not babysitting. Not bringing food to events. Not helping people move. Nothing. You ask, I decide, and you respect my answer. She nodded. Second, if I do agree to babysit or help out, I get paid. Market rate. This isn't me being greedy, it's about recognizing that my time has value. Of course, she said. Absolutely. Third, you stop with the guilt trips. No more family comes first, when what you mean is your needs don't matter. No more don't you love us when I set boundaries. No more comparing my life to Trevor's or Blake's like theirs is more legitimate than mine. Mom's face crumpled. I made you feel like you didn't matter. You made me feel like I only mattered when I was useful, I corrected gently. God, Anna. I'm so sorry. She reached across the table, hesitant, and I let her take my hand. I don't know how I became this person. This mother who used her own daughter. You can become a different person, I said. We both can. But it's going to take work. And it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes. I'll do the work, she promised. Whatever it takes. We talked for 2 more hours. Really talked, not the surface-level chit-chat we usually did, but actual conversation. She told me about the pressure she felt to make every holiday perfect, to keep everyone happy, to be the glue holding the family together. I told her about the years of resentment I'd swallowed, the plans I'd cancelled, the life I'd put on hold. Trevor called me after Christmas, she said as I was getting ready to leave. He said he's embarrassed by how he acted, that he never realized how much we all just expected you to handle everything. What did you say? I said he should tell you himself. That I can't fix his relationship with you. Everyone has to do their own work. That felt like progress. Over the next few weeks, things slowly shifted. Trevor did call. So did Natalie. Even Blake sent a long text about how he'd been thinking about all the times